Welcome to Wiretapped Truths. My name is Jesse Perez with my co-host, Mr. Wiretapped Truths Leland, Mr. Jack Simmons, resident comedian. We're doing these these episodes that you are watching. We're doing the limited series. We own the city. Um, rewatch. Took a little break from season two. We decided to watch this. We said we were going to cover this for a while, so we're doing this right now, and going to still bring you wire interviews. I'm actually looking for people from this show to interview. Also, a lot of them have dual from the Wire, also because it's a Baltimore film crew. I'm sure is involved in that. So yeah, this is I was a little hard on the first episode. I was just saying how I felt though, and this is the second episode. Leaps and bounds better. I
Yeah, I
really
agree
enjoyed.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this one. Yeah.
I think,
You got one?
yeah, I'm on the same boat. I mean, I don't think the first episode was bad at all. I don't think it was like a bad episode. I was definitely engaged the whole way through. I thought that the characters were interesting. There was some like I don't know, like it wasn't as easy but this one you definitely I felt like it definitely had like I definitely had criticisms of it also, but this one I felt also was much better. The pacing is like I don't know
Slow
is
down.
fast.
The first
Yeah,
episode was a little confusing with all the time
right.
jumps.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it takes an episode to really understand who these guys are, and so I get that, because David Simon's known for like taking his time with everything and building it up. This one, you really understand more about who these characters are. This is more
Mhm.
of like a like by the end of the second episode, I was really like, all right, I definitely want to see more of where this goes.
And then also, this is the episode with the main character, is he the
Wayne,
best actor? He probably is the best actor in the whole show. I'm trying
oh,
to think.
John Bernthal.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
but I'm
He
not
is
probably
gonna
pretty great. I
I'm
mean,
not
yeah.
gonna give him the actor of the episode this episode.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
talk about that.
his acting is really good in this. I also was thinking a lot about Jamie Hector, who plays Marlowe, and I like the way that his acting in this is very like understated.
Mm-hmm.
And I always felt that way about his performance as Marlowe, is that he's very like subtle. He's very quiet. He never raises his voice or it's very a lot of like facial expressions. Like John Bernthal, like Wayne is a very like
Expressive
outspoken,
person.
expressive person that contrasts well with Sean, especially when they're interacting with each other. I actually I know this is my first time watching, but admittedly I went an episode ahead. So
Uh-huh.
I saw episode 3, but
Okay.
I was like, all right, shit, when you
I mean,
see something.
you do have to watch it, Jack. Like,
Yeah, of course. No, of course. I was doing it like one episode a week, like just
uh-huh.
because I wanted to see it like from that perspective. But then I was like, oh shit, I really want to find out what happens again, which is a sign that it did its job and everything.
Yeah. No,
Um,
his story, Sean Suter's story it's a fascinating one when we get there.
mm,
It's very, very, very interesting when we get
yeah,
to his
but he
story at
plays
the end.
more of like his backstory with Wayne comes in more in episode 3.
Yep.
The backstory here, which is how it's kind of like the framework of the entire episode, is Wayne's backstory
Mm-hmm.
and his flashback to his past
Yep.
when he has this like mentor protege relationship with his field training officer, this guy he meets for the first time. It starts off with him. I think it's like 2003. They said was
Yep.
the first year. Do you have the years checked? That's good because
I think it is on three.
okay.
It's
So
02
three.
or 03. I
Yeah,
think it's 03.
he has that. First off, he's got that fucking stupid ass haircut. I always thought, you know what I mean? It's that typical like, everything's just short on side. Yeah, no, it's very. But he has that the entire show, and it's adds to his character. Um, But this guy that like is his field training officer is this very like rough, brusque kind of guy.
Oh yeah.
You could tell he's very very jaded,
Yep.
very like
I'm about it.
cynical. Yeah.
about the action for sure.
He,
I ain't no punk.
right, he's at Wayne's first day, so he's eager to please. He's very, you can tell he's out of place. He's nervous. It's his first day on the job, right? He doesn't under, all he's been taught is from the academy,
Right.
and it's like you can't really understand the job unless you do it outwards, on the streets and everything. So, like this guy, I think his name is Ed, and Eddie Barber, and when he's talking to him, he's just like, "Fuck everything you learned in the police academy." Like he's just like, all that stuff, just throw it out the window. Just it's
It's
all
Baltimore, baby.
bullshit. And he's like, "Oh, okay." That's his first thing that he says. You know, because he's like, yeah, you can tell this guy's very cynical, very angry person. Um,
And I was kind of wondering, like, if Wayne Jenkins gets trained by somebody else, he still turns out the same way, though, right? Like, we
No,
can't
for
really.
sure.
yo,
For sure.
I mean, I don't know though. Well, that it's kind of the end scene of this episode, and we'll talk about it right now because it directly, reflects back on the first scene. I really like how they did that because it has this. He's field training this other officer, and he's in the presence, and he's just training. He's telling him the same exact thing that he was told on his first day of like,
Yep.
fuck everything you learn. This is Baltimore, and so it really shows that this whole thing
And
is
he's
like,
drinking coffee as
Right.
opposed to the first time when he went in and he's not drinking coffee.
oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, it basically just molds your personality to, it's like I don't want to say like a cult, but it has like that feeling of like you become, just you have to. It's like a gang actually is more of the
For sure.
appropriate word. That's kind of what it really is as.
and and that's what the as we move forward, that's what his crew was deemed in their
Right.
investigation. They were looked at as a gang. That's how they were
Yeah,
operating. You
and
know,
one
But
thing
like,
that's really
so it just shows you that like people like this fielding officer, though, like they never got in trouble, and he got away. He taught them to like lock up 3 people for one kid with weed just for the extra
Barber.
paperwork and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and
But
these
it
people
was
Yeah,
never.
also too. It was for him. It was the money thing. Like, and we'll get into that later episodes. When people were kind of like,
right.
"Hey, yo,
But that's what I'm
what do
saying. They're
you?"
still in overtime. They're still in paper. They're still in money by
Yeah,
doing
they're still they're
that.
stealing money and they're stealing overtime
Company
and they're
that
hitting
for
the
the.
raids too. Like, and when the cop asked Wayne Jenkins, he was kind of like, "You working citywide and you still don't have no money? Like, what are you doing?" Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and that kind of put the thought in his head, like, I do need to be making some more money on these raids and shit like that. Like, but at first, even in this episode, he was really like a reserved rookie. Like, he even when he was arresting some of the people in this episode, he looks uncomfortable. Like,
Right.
he looks uncomfortable as a cop in this first episode until
Right.
the end. But
Well, it's all. He got sloppy. I mean, that's the difference
yeah,
between him and like the cops that get away with it. Is that Wayne Jenkins is like kind of a moron, and that's kind of like, I think that was well established about him. Late, like watching the episodes 2 and 3, I got a lot of similarities between Wayne and like Ziggy actually from The Wire, and
that's
how
interesting.
Wayne he's kind of looked down on by his other officers as kind of like an idiot, and we're just like a fuck up, and so he's constantly trying to prove himself also in a way. um but it just shows like this guy Barber is teaching Jenkins all the wrong shit, and it is like I this word's systemic, right? I know it's such like a buzzword, especially in like academic circles and everything, but it really is like something that is taught from the top down. You know what I mean? It comes from the people in charge, and that's how these organizations get fucked up. Is that the people that are like in the highest ranking of powers? Everybody that's taught is taught the wrong way of how to do things, and this guy Barber has this like really negative view of his city and the people that live in there. There's
Yeah.
this scene later on when he's driving with Wayne around the corner, and he just goes like, "This city fucking sucks." It's like he goes like,
Like, they
"This is a
don't pay
shit."
us enough for this shithole.
Yeah, he's calling it a shithole and everything, and it just shows it's like they don't. The police, their whole their whole motto is right. They're to protect and serve, but they don't they don't look at it like that. They look at it as like this adversarial us versus them relationship, and
Yep.
that's kind of the problem. I mean, that's the core problem with the corruption, which they go through. But we'll get into that. That's kind of like how the episode starts. He has this like dark mentor, like and yeah, it almost reminds me of I watched that Trump movie, The Apprentice, and I was being trained, to do all the wrong shit, and it's kind of like that. So, but then we flash forward, and he's in prison with we see his name Ram, and he's
Yep.
getting they're both getting dragged away in cuffs, not just handcuffs but ankle cuffs too.
Yeah.
Like they're
And
really
shackles.
yeah, they're shackled up, and Wayne's just like, don't tell them anything, being completely unsubtle about the whole thing.
Which is that not a form of witness intimidation or no? Not necessarily, I guess.
I mean, I guess no, because I mean, it's they were co-conspirators or
Okay,
something.
okay.
I guess
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
he's
I
not
don't really know
necessarily a
the.
witness. Okay, okay.
I mean, he is a witness per se, but I mean, he's more of like yeah, he's somebody. He's not
He's
like
a
a
co-conspirator though. You're right.
yeah, yeah.
I
So he's
think
gonna get his own charges, but they're gonna be
yeah, I
lesser
think that's the
charges.
distinction. He's not
Right,
just a witness. He's a
right.
co-conspirator in it too. Okay.
These
Just
people are
curious.
using they're
Witness
using
intimidation is like if you like witnessed a crime and like the Sopranos had one where they like threatened him at the store, like, hey, doesn't your
yeah,
kid go to this store? Like a jury member.
Okay,
But
okay.
not
right,
just like a
exactly.
witness or getting witness.
Yeah. So this guy Ram is being like interviewed by these guys Jensen and Saraki from the
Mhm.
FBI, and they're using him to roll over on Jenkins and also Allers, the people that
Yep.
are more in charge of them. And this guy Ram is an interesting character. I
He's a
think he's
piece of shit.
actually he's a piece of shit. He's actually kind of my favorite character in the whole show,
He
though, in a
honest
way.
as fuck.
Because yeah, he's just so honest. He's like, yeah, I stole money. I scam people. He's just like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, and he knows it. And he
Yep.
doesn't care. He's just openly admitting all of these things that he's doing to these people. He
They're
doesn't.
like, so you lied about it? He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah, I did. Yeah.
there's
That's
no
what he did.
sense of like shame or anything. He's just like, yeah, I
Nope.
did all this stuff. I don't care. Like he's doesn't.
And he gave the McNulty line too about the people at IED couldn't catch clapping a whorehouse. You know, that's definitely
Oh wow, that's a good catch. Yeah, I
This
forgot
yeah.
about
guy,
that.
this guy should be selling millions of records because he could sing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another one too, Jack, buddy who was training Jenkins, he was like, there's no other dictatorship other than a beat cop or something like that.
Yeah,
That's another
that's a great line.
McNulty wire connection too. Like
Yeah, no, that's true. Wow. I guess it's when you're writing stuff, it just kind of like comes back or whatever, because it's all written by the same people. I
and the
think that's
lines make sense. It
yeah,
makes sense. Like,
yeah,
hearing it here in this show and in the wire. Like it's
right. No, it's a good expression. But this guy is getting interrogated by these guys. Well, actually, not really interrogated, but interviewed. Yeah, and he's just basically telling him about every horrible thing that he's done throughout the
yep.
show, but he's also very defensive about it. He's kind of tries to justify it in a way, by basically saying like all these other people are doing it and there's all this money to be taken, so like I wouldn't.
Shit, I might as well. Shit.
And a lot of they talk about that a lot, how they don't get paid enough, and like I don't know how true that is or how much they do get paid. I'd have to
You,
look that up.
you know what though, Jack? I used to have a good friend like years ago. I used to work with him at Home Depot. And
Mm.
he had a cop buddy of his, and he told me like it's really easy for cops to get other side. I don't know how true this is, or if that's just where area he was working in, but he was like it's really easy for them to get side jobs, security jobs, because people are like, oh, you're a cop. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can come monitor the bar or the club for 5 hours, we'll pay
Okay.
you X amount of dollars. So I don't know how true that is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because
that's what cops. I mean, a lot of cops do that.
yeah,
Number one, they already have an armed permit, so you don't have to go through that. they like the fact that they're cops. Yeah, if you're an armed cop, it's easy to get. That
Right,
that's
right.
that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they do struggle to make ends meet like everyone else, so they have to, especially nowadays, so they have to make up extra money somewhere. But that's kind of like a common theme. They talk about that a lot in the show. All the cops are always talking about like, I don't make enough money doing this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they all have their own justifications. Actually, a lot of them are, they none of them feel like, oh, I'm really ashamed of what I did. This is awful. They're all just like, yeah, we did it as part of the system. That was just kind of,
Yep.
the underlying problem, right? But then we go back to October 2015, 18 months earlier. So it's like, again, yeah, there's a lot of different time cuts. So I don't mind that personally because it's kind of like, it challenges you to like keep up,
It does. You can't really look away in this
I
Yeah.
show.
guess I
Like,
was able to. I guess I was able to keep up with it more this
Mhm.
episode than I was the last episode.
I mean, it's confusing at first, I think, but it's
yeah,
like,
that's what I was about to
I
say.
kind I kind of like, I like something that like, I don't know, challenges, I guess, or like, oh, what's going on now and everything. It's just like it's differently um paced than The Wire in that sense
Yeah.
because of all the time cuts. So it's like,
And you know what, too, Jesse? In episode one, it's like versus episode two. It's like episode two is really telling like a starting point with the time slots. Like it shows this is the beginning of Wayne Jenkins becoming a cop. So like the time jumps and slots on the screen kind of makes it a little bit easier to make sense of it. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, we see this is where he's starting, this is where he's ending up. But in the first episode, we don't know shit about shit. It's like,
Right.
here you
Well,
go.
it's yeah, it's the
2015. Like,
yeah, it's they start it's like that's a good point. It starts off once you figure out where exactly the years are, then you're like, oh,
mhm.
okay, I get it. Because yeah, of course you're like confused at first, with all those guys in prison. I was too, because you're just watching them, and then you're getting into, and then you're like, wait, they're cops and everything. But I think it does a good job of it because it's like it tricks you into
Mhm.
realizing like, oh shit, okay, it's almost like a twist. Um, but October 2015, and he's Landsman is the commissioner. Commissioner Landsman, we'll just call him. I know is a different name, but Kevin Davis, that's his name.
Yeah.
Landsman. He's
We
fucking
call him Lansman. Yeah, this is
Landsman. Yeah, I don't like
Wiretap Truths.
Kevin. Fuck
That's
Kevin
Commissioner
Davis.
Lansman. We're gonna
Yeah,
say he finally got his shot. That's how we're gonna
yeah,
connect the
it's a
world.
better name. So yeah, Commissioner Landsman's giving a
No, that,
speech.
that might get a little confusing, no? I mean,
That's
whatever you
true.
guys want to do, but I was like, I
All
mean,
right,
we're maybe,
Commissioner Davis, because I guess this was a
yeah,
real person
maybe
also.
we should
Yeah,
call them by their proper names on the episode recap.
Commissioner Lansman.
Commissioner Davis is giving a speech to all these cops, and like he's talking about this guy Laronde, who is like a real scumbag, corrupt piece of shit cop, and he's basically he was witness intimidating, where he would
Mhm.
like show he was recording witnesses outside of testifying, like he was
That's crazy work.
basically doing the shit that like Stringer Bell was doing, like
Mhm.
why it's a perfect metaphor for why we keep referring to them as a gang, because that's really the way they act. And here, as he's talking about it, all the what's Wayne Jenkins like calls out, goes like, "Free Laronde."
That was
Like,
such an asshole moment from him. That was like
yeah,
such an asshole thing to do. Like,
it really is like that moment in class, when like the shitty like smart ass kid just calls out in the middle of it, and the teacher like grills him, and he reacted like that because he immediately looks down and yeah, it was like because they all laugh too,
yeah.
and Davis like grills him and is
Oh,
basically
he
saying he's
pissed.
just like, bring this asshole over to me, and he confronts him and he's like, oh, sorry, I kind of run my mouth sometimes, and won't have and he just walks away, and that kind of just sets up like where he's at. He's no longer like this innocent cop. He's been like fully corrupted now,
Oh
and
yeah, nah,
yeah.
for sure.
But it also shows now this guy Davis has this like, he doesn't have the respect of the police unit. too, because he's trying to give this speech where he's like saying like that type of behavior won't be tolerated, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, fuck this guy. And it's hard for him to gain control of a city. He was kind of like put in a he kind of like you become sympathetic to him, right?
Yeah,
Because he
he
even
got a
talks.
fucked up situation.
Yeah, he's put into this control of a city, and no matter what he does, people are pissed off him. It's like with this point of view, it's like if you get a guys like Laronde off the street,
Mm-hmm.
the other cops won't like you because they won't think that you have their back. So it's like he is put in a tough situation, but it's
And right after the Freddie Gray stuff too. That's when we talked about that in one of the episodes last week or a few weeks ago. Like how are these cops supposed to be held or cops not CEOs commissioner, like how are they supposed to be responsible for all of these murders? Like I don't get how you can hold them accountable for this type of stuff. Like,
yeah.
if the cops don't want to work after the Freddie Gray stuff, how is that the commissioner's fault? Like, it's not their fault. Like, I
I
don't
mean,
get
at the end of the day, it's not, but it's like the buck stops here. It's like
right.
someone's got to fall on the
Somebody
sword,
got to take accountability. No, I
and
get it.
it's
I
like,
get it.
yeah, that's kind of what happens with Burrell and I keep drawing this parallel, but it's the same. It's just like, yeah, it's just like when shit fucks up in the city, even if it's not the mayor's fault, it's like, well, you're the
I got to
mayor.
blame
This happened
somebody.
under your watch, so
Right,
it's
right.
like
No, I
somebody
get
has
it.
to be in charge. But he was put in after the Freddie Gray situation,
Yeah,
this commissioner, right?
yeah.
And the mayor is on his way out, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a new mayoral election happening. So everyone's kind of like unclear about what direction they want to take the department in.
Yep.
And uh these people from the DOJ that are trying to uh decide whether to put in a consent decree, or
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to write a report so that other people, like their people in charge of them, will decide whether or not to do a consent decree for the city. It's like, yeah, everything is like unstable essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where they are, right? That's kind of the other main characters are the people that work, Nicole Steele and these other people that work for the DOJ, and they find out that there's some rapper who is rapping about Herschel.
Mm-hmm.
That,
So Leland, as a rapper, as a rap fan, do you think this was some good music here?
No, those are trash bars. Bars
yeah,
are
that
trash.
was fucking terrible. I gotta be honest. That
Trash
was like
bars.
corniest,
He's like,
horrible rap.
Detective Herschel, take your money. It
The
ain't
They
best
should
fun.
have
part
had.
was a little lawyer doing a little dance. I love that
Oh,
little part when he's
Oh
doing the little.
yeah.
I love that
oh
little
yeah,
scene right there when he does that little dance. I love that.
yeah.
But yeah,
That
no,
was
those are
fun.
trash bars. F plus. F
They
And
F
should
that
plus.
have given Herschel a chance to respond by have like a rap battle between them.
oh,
Yeah, no,
I think the actress that plays Miss Steele is beautiful too.
she
Yeah,
is.
What's her
she's
name?
a
Yeah,
phenomenal character. Like her, and I get what they're trying to portray with her
right.
not being real and the opinions of pretty much the stuff behind the scenes. Because there
Mhm.
is a documentary called "We Got a Monster." I think I mentioned it to y'all about Wayne Jenkins, and some of the stuff that we're hearing from Nicole Steele's perspective in "We Own This City." If you watch that documentary, you will hear a lot of those same officials from some of those same law offices giving some of that same information about Herschel, about Wayne Jenkins. So she
Right.
is a fake character, but she serves a purpose in terms of
Yeah,
getting the
she
information.
represents the people that investigate her, and she also
Exactly.
kind of, I felt like she kind of represents like the audience in a way, right?
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
she's like this new person who's brought in to us, like a city that's completely fucked up. She's not from Baltimore, so
Mm-hmm.
she's like learning about this shit for the first time.
Yep.
She's kind of like brought into this chaotic world, and different people have. Most people are nice to her and are very like willing to cooperate, like Rayam and even like
Yeah.
the cops, right? But then at the end, she talks to Herschel, who's not really that
I
way.
love that. I love that scene. So I can't wait to
Yeah,
get to that scene. That's
And Miss Donna Adrian Gibson, who was the costume designer for this series, says she put a lot of effort into Miss Steele. Like
Good
Okay,
for you.
wow.
Okay. She is wearing a nice blouse here. I gotta say, this is
She's dressed very well, and I mean, if
mhm.
it's if Miss Donna is behind it, it makes sense actually.
Oh
Kind of
yeah.
thing. Like it's yeah. Miss Still, her character is top. She's the character, one of the characters in this show that make it
Yeah.
fascinating. Even though she's not real, but her purpose is, giving us the behind the scenes looks of some of these officers
Right.
is key. It's
She's
definitely
one.
key.
She's kind of like the protagonist, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Of the show for sure. Her or those other two cops, but I guess she kind of the FBI people. They're kind of all an ensemble, but yeah, she's kind of the main. Yeah, she's kind of the main protagonist, whereas Wayne would be like kind of the main antagonist of
yeah,
the
no, for
show.
sure, for
You
sure.
know, and but then they bring in this other guy, the one that Anderson, right?
Hmm.
They because we found out in the previous episode Anderson was supplying all of the heroin that people are overdosing from, the one
Yeah,
that was badly coated with those like butterfly stickers. So now
Bumblebee,
they
was it
the
Bumblebee?
bum oh yeah,
Bumblebee.
bumblebee, right, bumblebee. Bumblebee tuna. Yeah, they put all the bumblebee stickers on there. So they went and arrested Anderson, and they're gonna find out like um they're trying to use him to roll on the people that he bought from, right? They're
Hmm.
trying to find to roll back on this guy Brill. Um, but he says that he doesn't get from Brill anymore because Brill set him up to be robbed. Does he buy from Brill? I wasn't clear on that. Brill is like another gangster. He's the
Yeah,
one that robbed him with Rayam and Gonzo.
he wasn't in the car, but he's the drug dealer when they placed a tracker on his car in the airport. That's
Right.
real.
Right. Yeah, but I'm saying, and does Anderson buy from Brill, and Brill is like friends with Gondo, so they set him up to be robbed? Like,
Anderson was buying from Brill, but he doesn't anymore.
right,
And
right,
then
because they set him up to be robbed, right?
no, I think it was he stopped buying from them, and then they ended up robbing him too, like kind
Okay,
of thing.
I
I
see.
don't think it
Okay,
was they robbed him first, and then he stopped buying from them. I think they robbed him because he stopped buying from Brill.
right.
That's what I
Okay,
think from it. Yeah.
that makes sense. Thank you for the clarification. Right. Um. So yeah, he's saying this guy Anderson basically is saying though that he doesn't trust Brill. He wouldn't talk to like he's talking to the guys from county police. The
Hmm.
guys, the one that was played by David Corin Sweat McDougal and Kilpatrick, right? And those other two people hit their boss, and they're interrogating Anderson. And he's saying like, I wouldn't work with you guys if you were city police because I knew somebody that was close with Brill that said like Brill had his back and the name of G Money. So that raises some eyebrows with these cops because they're like, huh, who the fuck is G Money? And that we're gonna find out later who that was, right? Everything kind of like comes into play more in this episode. You find out like who these characters are and everything.
Yeah.
Um, but then it goes back to them interrogating Ram, and he talks about the time that they knocked off Anderson, and yeah, they literally these are cops, right? And they just go into this dude's house, fucking
Hmm.
loaded guns, and just with masks and everything, and just tear the fucking place up. It's chaotic to see, and it's just insane, you know.
And one dude waits in the car, and he's like, "Yeah, he waited in the car because he knew him from the past." Like, yeah, this guy's like just telling everybody that's involved in every single thing.
Right. And yeah, he's very open about it, but it's just fucking terrifying to think about that, because it's like here they are, the police, they have all this extra information that isn't available to all the public, right? They know things that are not there. They can find out where people are and everything. Um they know who the major players are, so it's like these guys can, yeah, they can just use their knowledge to knock these drug dealers off, and take all their money, and it's fucking insane. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's kind of like where they're at, and then they McDougal and all those people are like, all right, well, what should we do now? We gotta investigate this further. They're trying to find out who this guy G Money was. All right, and then Nicole wants to get in touch with the rapper for who wrote it. So she talks to like the lawyer that represents her, played by what's the actor who played Santangelo, shows up
Oh
as
yeah, 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 yeah. That's right.
and
Yeah.
Angelo shows
Wire
up as the
cameo. Yeah.
lawyer. Yeah, and he says like, okay, yeah, this guy can come.
I could put in a word for you to
Right.
see him, but I can't guarantee you he'll talk. Kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, fair enough. Um, Meanwhile, Jamie Hector plays Sean looking for his car, and we find out he knows Gondo from the past because he pulls up on him and
Mhm.
basically taunts them for like working. Uh,
Oh, so this is
homicide.
something I noticed, right? Compared to The Wire, right? On The Wire, we get more of the homicide cops, right?
Right.
Which and in this show, which is a reality show, it kind of seems like the homicide cops are the more straight edge people. Like he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you still at homicide? You still like you're not getting
Right.
no overtime?
Well.
Like and the narco like there was even like remember when McNulty goes to D'Angelo and he's like, you think I'm gonna dirty you? I ain't narco. I don't care about the drugs, you know. So there is like a little bit of a wire, the Wire referencing. We talk about like the Wire, not really showing the dark side of the cops. We're also getting a different unit on the Wire.
Right.
We're getting the homicide, which it seems like the homicide are like this more straight edge guys in this show too.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
this is like a mirror reflection of that, right? Because The Wire is from the point of view of the good cops like McNulty and Bunk and Greggs and Daniels and all. Like there are like dirtbag pieces of shit like Colicchio or Walker and ever, but they're more like the background. We don't. I mean, they're the supporting. We don't really characters. We don't really focus on them as much. This one is from the opposite perspectives, where it's like, what if the bad cops were the main guys and the more of the honest police officers, the ones who aren't involved in all this corruption, really are more to like the
Play the
side. We don't
background.
focus on them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so these Gondo and Rayam, led by Allers, they're in the plainclothes flex squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's their unit, and their unit has a horrible reputation already. That's
Mm-hmm.
something I've noticed that a lot of the other cops talk about them like, oh, these guys get to do whatever the fuck they want.
They know.
They have no oversight essentially. I
Yep.
think part of it is because they walk around in plain clothes, so it's like they can
Yeah, the
disguise
rules are a
themselves.
little bit different too. And I heard y'all talking about too the homicide cops looking for the cars. That season 5 little nugget when McNulty and Kima go back to homicide and McNulty can't find a car. You know, I thought about
Mm,
that little
little
connection too.
parallel, yeah.
Yeah.
Which shows how these guys in homicide feel like they're not respected as
Yep.
much. Their unit isn't respected as much as like the plainclothes flex squad. So there's a bit of that like rivalry between units,
No, for
and
sure.
as there is between districts about these guys. And there's this other there's this show called The Looming Tower, which is a miniseries really good on Hulu about uh like right before 9/11, and like it showed the FBI and the CIA had this like rivalry where they didn't really want to work with each other. And here's kind of similar where it's like all these different, they're all part of the police department, right? But each different district and the units all have sort of separate rules or codes,
Yep.
and oftentimes they conflict, right? But it starts from the top up, right? So it starts with Allers, and Allers is corrupt, so the whole unit fucking becomes dirty, and that's kind of what we see here. Um, and the way I love this scene where Gondo is talking to Sean and this other guy that he works with. He's basically just taunting them about
Mm-hmm.
that they're not making any money, and he's saying like, I get to make all this money and I bring home the murders.
Yeah.
And I love the actor who plays Gondo too. We talk about the acting a lot, but this guy, is he does such a slimy fucking character.
He a slime ball.
He is, and he's just immediately unlikable in a way that you do like him in a way because he's just so fucking gross. But
Yeah.
even when he walks away and these guys say like these fucking these
The plain clothes, a flex squad,
plain
whatever he
clothes
said.
fucks why they just get to do whatever the fuck they want and nobody care, and he says, and it's a great transition too because at the end of the scene he's like, which idiot is training these people? And then it immediately shows Wayne Jenkins name being typed in.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great little joke like there. um
But they're right though. I mean, we working murders. We trying to solve the murders. We can't even get a fucking car.
Right. Yeah. They don't, they don't get kind of the respect. And we find out that Sean used to work plainclothes flex squad as
Yep.
well, which is how he knows
Now he knows
Jenkins
Wayne.
and Gondo and all those fucking people. Um, and so we go back into a flashback again, and they're all Wayne and this guy are all at the what's it called, the jail, right, where all these prisoners, 'cause they all had to be locked up earlier
Mm-hmm.
on. These characters are they're driving around and they fucking get out and they immediately start hassling people for loitering, essentially. Not,
For
that's
nothing.
what they say it, right? They say that's what they'll say is loitering, right? They're just standing on a street, they're not doing anything, and they're like, get in
Nope.
the fucking house for no reason. um
He like, man, I'm just sitting on my porch. You gonna lock me
right.
up? Said I am if you get to
Immediately
steal
starts
your ass in
hassling.
2 minutes.
Yeah, he immediately starts like hassling these people, um and arresting all these people. So he goes over. So before they do that, they're at the jailhouse, and this guy Barber is telling Jenkins that what happens is you get paid twice for bringing all these people arrested, right?
Mhm.
Because you can overfill the court docket, and it's like a technicality, I guess. Um, and so that's why they arrest all of these people for charges really that they could only legally bring on one person. They know that all these people that they're arresting are just going to be let back onto the street almost
Mhm.
immediately. They don't care. It's not about like arresting someone because they should be brought to jail. They know this is all bullshit. They're just doing it to get paid. Um, it's all just like for a show, essentially. Um,
Did this anybody else get reminded of Bobby Cannavale from Ed Barber?
a little bit, yeah,
Who?
I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Kind of this like rough Italian guy. Yeah, for sure. Right.
He's an actor,
Um,
Leland. From
Oh,
what was
yeah,
he?
he's been in a bunch of different stuff.
He's been on a bunch of stuff.
Um,
He was on Boardwalk Empire.
right.
okay.
Yeah. So, all these people are like coming together, all the people that are investigating like Shropshire, um, and who's also known as Brill, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the other thing. It might be confusing because they find out he's Shropshire, known as Brill, is and they're all like determining, okay, this guy has drugs, but and then they basically bring up the fact that like here's this cop that knows him, this guy Gonto. um like he robbed they found out that G Money is friends with Shropshire, but they don't know him as Gondo yet. They just know him as a name of G Money, right? But they found out that the tracker that Poot found on the car the previous day belonged to like a detective John Cluel.
And then
And
Poot's character just disappears.
yeah,
He
Yeah.
yeah,
was like the
he was just a
he's like
one
the main
off.
star in episode one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
just a one off. Well, I think McDougal gets assigned to work with this guy Kilpatrick, who kind of takes his place as like,
Yeah.
which is like, as a Wire fan, yeah, you want to see Poot there, but
For
um,
sure.
you know, But yeah, they find out this guy, this tracker belongs to John Cluel, but they say like he hasn't. He has his personal tracker on this guy's van, right,
Mhm.
on Shropshire's car, but they didn't hear anything back about the fucking track. Sorry, I'm like distracted because there's like all these fucking sirens going on outside my house. There must be a parade or something, but it's also pouring rain, so I don't know why there's doing that. But anyway, back to the show, right? Okay. So yeah, they find out why does this cop have his personal tracker on this car, and we find out more about Cluel later.
Mhm.
Uh, but they that gives them more like the more information they gather on this guy, the more red flags go off, and they start to slowly. This episode is them basically slowly piecing together that cops are directly involved with Shropshire's
Yep.
gang. And it's kind of it's like they came to investigate a drug case, and they found out that it like goes back to the department. It's like sometimes you just stumble on those cases that just fucking go out of control, you know.
Yeah.
Um, 'cause all it started was from them responding to an OD. That's how the whole thing
Mhm.
started, and it just fucking escalated. Now they're having this like whole corruption case, right? But this
And you
guy,
know what, too, Jack? Gondo asked about that in the first episode. He's like, "What put y'all onto us? How did
mm,
y'all even find out?" And they
oh
just
yeah,
gave him vague answers. You know, a bunch of moving pieces, and then it flashes to the overdose scene, kind of
right.
thing. That's what started everything. So,
It was really that one, yeah, that one thing just fucking snowballs, you know, and these guys really kind of put together the different pieces. And that's the thing. I guess there is no like one main cop or one like Nicole Steele really is the protagonist, but this really is like an ensemble show where it's like all of these
mhm.
characters kind of share, um, you
The
know,
screen.
the same level of screen time. Yeah, but
Yep.
this guy Sean Suter,
Shooter.
or Sean Suter, little tongue twister there,
Mhm.
right? He's goes to investigate this murder, and he's a little like out of place. You could tell because he's relatively new at this job at this
Yep.
point. His
He's new to
partner,
homicide.
he's new to homicide. He hasn't worked a case by himself, right? His partner is like assigned to something else or whatever, so he can't be with him. Um, so he's like has this case. Yeah, he has this case by himself, and so he's kind of out of his element. But it also is funny seeing like we saw so many scenes in The Wire of like the detectives investigating here, but it's funny seeing it happen in like modern era because they're using iPhones to take all
Mhm.
these photos, and I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
it's just like the shit never changes, it's just the technology does, you know. Um, but yeah, he's just doing. And I really do like the way he portrays this detective. You know, he's very like careful with how he does things. He's a good like contrast to all these other people who are just fucking like out of control. You know, and um, but what's his face? So they were back to McDougal and Kirkpatrick, right? And they're putting a tracker back on I think it's Shropshire's car, right?
Mhm. It's his rental car or his car. I think it's the actual car.
Right, right. His rental car. So they're going ahead and investigating them. But then what's her face finds like an information that wait, hold on, what's her name? Jensen finds information that like Gondo's real name, Gondo goes by G Money,
Mhm.
and she puts it together that like um one guy was like complaining about G Money. No, this other cop was complaining about G Money and Gondo and Shropshire. They said they were like talking like really friendly with each other.
Yep.
You
And
know,
he knew that they were doing. He knew that Shropshire was a drug dealer.
right? He knew that Shropshire was a drug dealer, and this officer Gwyn, he said he knew like, but he said they were just like hanging out together. And then when he asked Gondo about it, he said like, he's not actually a drug dealer. It was all just bullshit. So again, it's like it's another piece of the puzzle. This episode is essentially just like a big puzzle, and you're just putting all these different pieces together.
Yep.
These brick, but all these different elements to figure out the case. It kind of like it kind of puts you in the role of the detective. You're kind of figuring this shit out with them, which makes
Yeah.
it kind of makes it more fun that way.
Yeah.
Um,
At 45 minutes in, we want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment, Wiretap Truths. We appreciate all the love, all the support, all the new fans, fans that want to tune in. We appreciate all the love. And I like that little scene too, Jack, when they are putting the tracker on his car. And he's like, go ahead, you got it. He's like, why I got to go? He's like, oh, seniority. You got more experience bending over. He was like, yeah, man, so does your mom.
Yeah, they give a little
that little comedic little scene right there. I like that.
They give a little personality to these cops,
Yeah.
I think, too. Because that's what separates them from I don't know, something like Law and Order. Like they're you see more of them than just being cop.
Yeah.
Especially McDougal. He's very charismatic and charming. But also these other FBI guys, you kind of they have a little characterization too.
No, they do. They definitely
Especially
do.
Jensen and what's his face? The other guy, his name is Saraki, right? Jensen's very talented woman,
She's
and
dope. No, she's dope.
The actress was from Succession. She had a role in that show, but you also get the sense that Saraki kind of likes her, or at least that's what I was thinking,
for sure.
and because she even says oh, that's really nice shirt. He's like, it's Armani. He's like, really? He's like, no, I was just saying that to impress you.
Yeah, no, he does. He does.
They have a little
crush on her.
yeah. You want to find, even though it's only 6 episodes, so you can only do so much. You want to find, and especially with such a huge ensemble cast, but you want those little nuggets of humanity. You know what I mean? It adds flavor to the show and makes it.
It does. It
more
makes
than
it filmable. If that's
right,
right.
exactly. It makes it more rewatchable that way too. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, oh, there's nice little elements to it. And also these guys as well as Sean Suter, they're kind of like I said, they contrast nicely because you have so many scenes of these horrible corrupt cops just abusing people. So it adds you want to a little contrast there with nice some humanity to balance it all out, so it's not just constant fucking misery. um but yeah, so this guy Suter is going to talk to this woman about the shooting that happened, and she said that some guy was going on to build a fence to keep drug dealers away from his yard, and he just got shot. And he's he's a very good detective, the way he's talking to her. He's very sympathetic.
Yeah.
He's not tell me what happened. He's very he's very calm and
That's a great catch, Jack. And for the next episode, there's a great scene in the next episode that shows exactly what you just said about. And I don't know if Sean Suter was that way in real life. Some of the stuff I've read about him, it seems like he was a very likable individual in real life. But in the next episode, there's a definitely distinct scene that we'll talk about that he does that exact what you just said, making it personable, talking to people. It's a great scene that you just described for sure.
Yeah. He's he's very salt of the earth kind of guy, and is this is his first big case too. So also, but these guys were McDougal and Kilpatrick are assigned that voice what do you call it? The thing they're able to hear people's phone calls as it comes in.
It's wire. It's wiretap.
Oh yeah, they got a wire. Duh. Fucking brain fart Siegel over here. Yeah, they got a wiretapped. Wiretap truth, right? We got our first wiretap of the show, and they got a wiretap up on Shropshire's phone, right?
Yep.
And even here, there's a little humanity too. I like that when they're he's Shropshire's talking to his girl, and she's like, "You got to bring me that sugar," and he's making a joke, "Hey, maybe sugar means Coke," and the guy, he's trying to be funny, and the guy
and the other guy, he
what are you talking about? He's like, I'm just kidding.
Just making a joke, my fault for making a joke kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just oh, okay, sorry, I was just trying to be funny.
Herc and Carver have a moment like that too when they were talking about like when Poota's having that phone sex and they're
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
and they're
said
like,
the
oh
Oh
no,
yeah, yeah.
three holes could be three stash
yeah.
houses or something like that.
Mm.
And then they actually hear something at the end and they're like, well, now you have to explain why you've been listening to 5 minutes of phone sex
Now it's
Right,
now
again.
it's
yeah.
pertinent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
But
no, but this,
that scene too, Jack, where he's introducing the wiretap, and he says to him before he walks out, he says something like, "Just remember that the bad guys got to be perfect all the time. We just got to be lucky one time."
and
Like
that,
I like
oh
that. I
yeah,
like that little nugget right there.
and just as that's what's brings me back to what Avon said, right? In that famous scene when he's talking to his uncle, it's like, how can you be lucky?
Damn.
How can you be? You can't be perfect. You're gonna fuck up eventually. Everyone
Yeah.
fucks up eventually. No criminal is perfect. You can't be. You get sloppy. You know,
Yeah.
it's human nature, right? And yeah, all it requires. I mean, it requires like a ton of discipline and patience, and just sitting around a fucking desk doing nothing for hours on end. That's kind of where they are right here. You know.
And you know what, too, Jack? Just sitting here listening to you explain that about singing about Stringer and connecting the wire worlds. Like he had to be so disciplined to not fuck up on the phone hardly ever. Like I'm just sitting here
Yeah.
thinking about what you just said, the discipline of it. Like
Yeah, he had great phone code etiquette or
shit,
whatever. Yeah, that's what made Stringer survive until season 3. You know,
damn,
these
damn.
guys have you know, Shropshire is fucking terrible phone etiquette. In this episode, we'll go into later. But when they're listening, he's so fucking on the nose, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, dude, he is terrible here. But then we go to Jensen following up with Sergeant Gwynn, who said that Gondo was like being all friendly with Shropshire,
yep.
and the way what he's describing is fucking crazy. And you know, this is all true to life. Like, I mean, so I guess this all happened. Like, I don't know how. I assume it's all real. Like, I don't know if any of this was fabricated or not. This is one of
Some
those
of it,
things.
I don't know to what degree. If you about to ask about the FBI story with him
That
jumping in the van and stuff like
I'm
that.
just like, that's fucking nuts. When
And
I'm like,
I
that's
was gonna ask you
crazy.
and Jesse that. Like, I don't know if y'all know about FBI stuff or shit like that, but is that
I mean,
real?
I'd have to add. I mean, I'd have to look into. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Again, like you guys, for you know, Jesse, you read that, watched that documentary about, or Leland, one of you guys said you watched the documentary about that guy Wayne Jenkins. But this is my first hearing about this whole story. Was this? So I
Okay.
don't know much about that other than that. But just this, if this happened, which I guess I'm just gonna assume it did, that's fucking insane. The story that Gwen tells here.
He said he had to hop
um,
in the van and hop in the back or some shit.
right. So to
Crazy
provide
shit. Like,
context to the audience, yeah, he tells the story about how he was gonna file a complaint about Gondo, and like a van pulls up, and the side door comes off, and he gets in the van, and he basically just like tells them what happened, and they
they let him go.
drop him off, and they drive away.
Because the
Yes.
FBI, I guess, is supposed to be super secretive,
Right.
kind of
And
thing. But like he
and
asked
then
her, is that normal? I guess
but
not.
then
Because
he's just like, no, because yeah, you just walked in.
you just walked into my office.
Right, like a normal person.
Why they have to do all that other stuff last time? What is
Because
that
some
about?
it's
Yeah,
like, you know
no.
what it is, it's like somebody, one of these people, like, I think of what it is they just set that whole thing up, they fabricated that whole thing. Somebody assumed that's how they do it, you know, they do it in the movies like that, right? So they just, but it's all bullshit. And so it's like, it's crazy that this dude went to file a complaint. And I'm assuming, because I've only seen 3 episodes of the show, that somebody just pretended to be the FBI, goes in there and has him talk to them, and immediately just has the case being dropped off, you know?
I don't know.
Uh, and it's just like, it's fucking insane. And so he's like, well, that was weird. But then she explains, well, we're reopening the case. So, you know, she talks about how he talked to Gondo, how
Mhm.
Gondo talked to Shropshire, and he was just like, something, you know, was off about the way they were talking. They were like, not talking like old friends, talking like current friends, you know, that
And he
really
said too, like, you can't pick who you grew up with. When she asked him,
Right.
did you follow up on it or anything? He was
Yeah.
like, no. I mean, you can't pick who you grew up with. Shit,
It's
ain't
true. If
really
somebody's like a childhood friend and you chose different
yeah.
lifestyles, it's like I get it, you know. Yeah, he was saying it's like it just even still it just still raised those like he still thought it was weird and so he's just like they're moving forward with that, you know. It's another just like a piece in the puzzle or finding out all the
Mhm.
people that knew him and everything. And here we have the next scene is Sean being talked to by a sergeant who doesn't know his name. He's just like Sean, right? He's like, yes, that
Don't
is
even know my boy name,
my
Jesse.
name.
they kind
It's a
of said that
different
earlier too, right? He said they don't
Yep.
know your name, but he has faith in
right.
you. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he was told when he wanted help. He was like, "We have faith in you," you know. But his boss, the sergeant, which is kind of like a different relationship than we see in The Wire, where the sergeants are very close on. I guess it's different depending on the office, right? Depending on the
Yeah.
sergeant. Some sergeants are more hands on. Some are just like you don't really know these people. They're just kind of like
It is what
your
it is and what
your
it's gonna be.
supervisor, and you only see them every now and again for whatever. You know, it depends on the cop too, right? So it's yeah, but the his sergeant tells him that like they're gonna make a big show. The mayor's gonna make a big show about this
Mhm.
and make it like a political stance that this will not go untouched because this is like a working man, like a
Yep.
family man who was shot 4 times, and so that's why Suter tells this guy like this story that this guy was shot for putting up a fence to
He's like,
keep.
I don't think it's that. And
Yeah.
then he kind of got to see the political aspect of the homicide units because he told him like, well, look, you knew, all right,
Mhm.
don't get ahead of yourself. Okay, we still gonna say that this was going on. They're going to fix it. The camera's gonna be out there. Pretty much, don't challenge the story right now. Let
Right.
them fix the fence, and we'll take it from there, kind of thing. And he's telling him like, I don't know about that. He got shot 4 times, 5 times. I don't know if it was just about a fucking fence. Like,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, again, it's all about keeping the clearance rate low and keep making it so it's they don't want to add another fucking murder like that.
let me ask y'all something too, completely related, unrelated. Just thinking about it, just talking about cameras and murders and homicide units. Because my wife watches First 48 a lot. Do y'all think some of that is fabricated on the First 48? Like, I just think if you put a camera in front of anybody, you're gonna operate a little differently. Like, or is some of that shit true, or some of that shit fabricated too?
Wait, what's the first 48? I don't know what that
First
is.
48 is a show
First
where they go
48 hours
behind.
is when you find the killer, and then they show
Yeah,
the
they go
first
behind
48
these
hours.
these homicide units across the nation, and it's like a
I
real
think it's
show.
on True TV
A&E?
or the
Is it
ID
A&E,
channel.
Jesse?
Okay.
Hmm?
A&E?
I
Is it
don't think it's
A&E?
A&E. I don't think it's A&E. I think it's the ID channel or True
Is
TV.
it ID
First
channel now?
48.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
but it's a
So
show. It's a show,
pretty
Jack.
sure.
It's a reality show.
Okay, and it follows
It's
them
just
direct.
48 hours. The first 48 hours of questioning
Oh,
the
really?
suspects and
Yeah,
stuff.
but they got a camera. Like, they go behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Ah,
Like,
well then it's definitely like there's an element that's
I
bullshit.
mean,
It's like
anything.
cops,
There's
right?
Hollywood stuff and everything. I mean,
I thought
anything with a
so.
camera, I think they're gonna
But
tell.
but but Jack, it's so captivating. Like, if you watch it, you'll be like, damn,
Right.
this shit is it's interesting as fuck. But I just
I
thought
mean, like
I was talking
they're
about the cameras.
real. Are they real cops? Like I don't
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
real
yeah,
real
cops. It's a
thing.
real case. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, like,
It's
yeah,
not
if
like
there's a
acting.
camera,
It's a documentary. It's a
right,
documentary.
right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, like, well, anyone acts differently when there's a camera around them, right? It's just human.
That's
It's,
really what I was trying to.
it's human nature, you know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry that
that's really what I was trying to
it's
say. But
just.
yeah,
I
he
mean,
definitely he's
yeah,
definitely getting to see like his first couple weeks into this homicide unit. Like,
right.
shit is still. Well, that's not. I don't think that's what happened. And he's still telling them like, yeah, just slow your roll.
Just slow your roll. Yeah, exactly.
Calm
And
down.
just we don't want to add like another homicide. Let's just and also it's like the mayor gets to decide like if he's saying this is what happened or this is what people are like just fucking just go with it, right? Um
Yeah,
and so yeah, he's starting to get curious about this case that he's in. But also and what's his face? Kilpatrick and McDougal are having this this the wire up on Shropshire's phone,
Yep.
and McDougal gets a call from he finds this number that's like he goes through his phone call history and he finds a number that's like over and over and over again,
It's all over the call logs.
and then they find that it belongs to Officer Gondo, and it's like okay, they're putting it all together, right? They also find what's her face goes and meets like this rapper to
Yep.
like talk about what happened, and
With Herschel.
yeah, he said like they respond like if um you know Herschel and all these people responded to him like putting out this rap song and like planted fake evidence and arrested him for all this bullshit, and it's
Yep.
like again it's like a gang, right? They really just respond
Yep.
like a fucking gang would.
And
uh
he let it be known too, Jack. Like this is the first time that it's known. Like, oh shit, cops are stealing.
yeah.
Because she said anything else that you can give me on Herschel or anybody else. He was like, well, they steal. He's like, Herschel go in your pockets. So this is the
Mhm.
first time we kind of get to see like, okay. So everybody, all of the cops are stealing and taking money. Like,
Yeah,
oh shit, like
it's not just like a few bad apples. It's pretty
right,
much just like the whole fucking department
yeah.
is rotten to the core.
Because we got
Um,
Rams, his testimony and him giving, telling us as the audience, like, yeah, we all took. And then you see Herschel, it's like, okay, shit, he took too. All right,
right.
okay, so
Well,
all
that's the
right,
thing too, because yeah, that's what Ram says, right? Later on, he basically explains like why wouldn't I take money? Like
exactly,
who? Because it also doesn't. I mean, besides from just the obvious ethical reasons of it's wrong, right? He's like saying, uh, basically like it doesn't help. Like I'm not going to get promoted or anything for doing the right thing. He's
yeah,
like, if the bosses are the ones that are corrupt too, it's like fucking. I don't care then. And it's like what so that the problem is like deeply rooted in the department and how it
mm-hmm.
operates and its relationship with people, um like you see later on, um when Jenkins and his guy Barber are like arresting people, right? And Barber tells him like you got to put a how many they basically like throw this dude up against a wall and they frisk him for just finding like a I don't know like an eighth of weed,
Little bag of weed.
essentially a little bag of weed. And then he says like what about these other people? They're like, well, just arrest them, all of them, because you get paid more. And it's like they just have this us versus them relationship where it's all
Yep.
just about like got to get these fuckers off the street. And it's true, like I don't know, I used to know this guy from like high school who became a cop, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
like he used to be like a nice guy, and then I like talked to him a few years back, and it's like he just talks about people in a like a
Completely
fucking
different. Yeah, no.
adversarial way, and it's like it just trains you. So like Jesse's point earlier, maybe uh, Wayne Jenkins would have been different if he had been taught the right way of how to do things instead of
That's
being just like
a really interesting question that Jesse posed too about that. Like, kind of what made him break bad, if for lack of better words, like is it because he was trained properly? Because I don't think he was trained like corruptly. To Jesse's point, like in terms of the money stealing and stuff like that, I don't
no, he
think.
wasn't taught that. I
Yeah,
mean, he was just
like
taught basically to like cut
it's us
corners
against them
essentially.
kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
yeah, and just the mentality, but it's also just like cutting corners and everything. Yeah, no, it's true. This guy Barber never like showed that he was like stealing money and everything.
Well, he
mhm.
was making unauthorized overtime, right?
Right,
You
yeah.
bring those
But that's
three
very
guys
like
in, you got over.
technical. He wasn't like directly going in these guys' pockets and like taking
No,
money.
no, but you were stealing money from the job. Like you were
Right,
stealing
yeah.
time. You were stealing time
Stealing money from the fucking taxpayers.
from the
Basically,
Hold
that's
on,
that's what's fucked up.
hold on, wait. Walk me back, Jesse.
Because
So
didn't he say when he arrested the three kids, he said, "Well, that's more paperwork. That's more
Right.
overtime for hours for us." So you're stealing
but is
overtime
that
hours from.
but is that necessarily like because he's still arresting them? Is that still, I guess,
But he
considered?
said, "Do you want to bring one in or bring all three?" He said, "We bring all three. We get more paperwork. We get more overtime. We get more money, right?" So isn't
Uh-huh.
that stealing money from the department if they like HR?
I mean, but they still got the
Uh,
arrest though. I'm trying to see like, well, we
they got
still
the
arrested
arrest on
these
three
three.
people instead of one.
Yeah. But is that
Right.
really corrupt? Because they were together. I mean, I know of situations people have been
Well,
in
one
a
person
group
has
of
weed on them.
people.
Why are you arresting two other people? Why are you arresting two friends
Yeah.
if one has weed on them?
Well, I mean, I know situations that people that I know have been in, and it's been 4 of them or 5 of them, and it was only one person's weed, and they all went to jail.
I don't think that should be correct. I mean,
You know,
I don't know.
No, that's not correct.
We're-
I mean, they're doing that because you can't arrest multiple people for one person having a bag of
I
weed. I guess. I
we're
mean,
gonna
yeah, because
we're gonna have a. I mean, my pops is a cop, but I don't know the answer to this. We're gonna have a police consultant here on
on the show.
for that was police consultant for The Wire in a couple of
Uh-huh.
weeks. We're gonna have him as a guest. Maybe we could jot this
Asking
down
these
and
questions. Yeah, but I know some of those situations. Like I know people I'm close to that have been in those situations where it was like it was 4 of them, 5 of them, and it wasn't a huge bag, but nobody was like, "Yeah, it's mine." I think that's when it. Okay, yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna
but
call
if it's
y'all
in
up.
somebody's pockets, don't you bring in the person whose pockets it's in?
I don't know. I mean, it was in somebody's car when they got arrested. So
Oh, that's a little different though. A car and
yeah,
then nobody's owning up to it. Here they had them
they
all
on
on
the
the
block.
wall, and they
yeah,
found on one person's personal.
Yep, facts. You're right. You're right though. Damn.
A car
Barber
is
also
Yeah,
made
different.
it. Yeah,
A car. You could definitely bring everybody in if nobody owns up to it
yeah.
because you don't know who it belongs to.
But they on the block. It's on one person's person. Like, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see. I see. I see. I see.
well,
And
they're also made it
Wayne
like
Jenkins ask him. He goes, "Why are we bringing all three in instead of one?" I mean, it's a real technical area. People have stolen from work all the time. If I could get extra overtime hours doing something, I would do it. I'm not saying stealing from the time. I'm saying technically, like, are these breaking the rules things,
yeah,
or
yes,
like,
they are wrong. It's wrong because it's yeah, absolutely. It's breaking the rule. He makes it explicit that what he's doing is he's arresting people for bullshit reasons so that he can get paid. He can overfill the docket and get paid more based on the amount of people you bring in. He's doing it just to make more money. So definitely,
I guess
it's
I'm trying to
if it's not
distinguish
illegal, it's
between.
unethical.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's
that's what I'm trying to get
unethical.
at, Jack. I'm trying to distinguish between like,
He's not. It's
okay,
not illegal per se, but it's definitely unethical. It's
yeah,
not.
I'm trying to distinguish between the unethical part of it versus the stuff that they do later,
No,
which
yeah, they're
is like completely
much way
illegal, like
different.
how they're stealing
Right.
time and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
guess I'm looking at it like, okay, yeah, they're arresting this person. It is wrong. They're arresting the other 2 people,
Right.
but they are arresting somebody that's got something illegal, and then
Right.
we'll work out the technicalities on the back end. Like I'm trying to.
No, this one is more like, oh yeah, he found an unethical loophole. That also, we're forgetting the human side, which is you're arresting someone. This is
Right.
already a traumatic experience, and you're bringing in all this bullshit, and you're just wasting everyone's time to make more money. Versus like Jenkins directly and these other people directly stealing money out of people's pockets. So there's definitely a difference here. But I think it's just the code of doing the wrong thing was implanted in him by Barber. Whether or
Mhm.
not it's not illegal per se, but the idea of like, cutting corners and not being like a Boy Scout cop was kind of taught to him by
Right.
Barber. And that's
Right.
kind of like how he has his philosophy about the way he does things.
how
That's
cool
kind of
would
like
it be if we get the real Wayne Jenkins for an interview over
I mean,
the phone?
I've seen him
no,
do an interview, but
let's not do that.
behind bars.
You wouldn't be interested in hearing his perspective or why he broke bad or
Not really. No, he's kind of a piece of shit guy. What do we have to gain from why did you murder all those people? Well, I don't fuck you. Fuck you,
but
rot
you're
in jail. I don't care.
but you're interested in watching a show about him, but you wouldn't interview him?
I
I
mean,
don't know about
first
that
off,
either,
this is a
bro.
very big hypothetical. I don't,
That's that. I don't know. That's a tough one because
I
I mean,
No, I mean it's a hypothetical, but the way you were so against it, I'm like, but
I think I feel what Jack is saying too. I don't really want to hear from him
why would
either.
you want to like have a bad person on this show? This is a
I don't really
podcast.
want to hear. I don't really want to
Yeah.
hear from his.
What do we have to gain
He
from
fucked up a
that?
lot of lives, bro.
Right.
He broke a lot of people's families and shit like that. I don't really want
Yeah.
to. I
What do we
wouldn't
have
really care about interviewing him either.
Right, exactly. What do we have to gain from this? He's gonna have some revelations that are like,
Well, his perspective of what has he changed? If he could go back, would he do it again? Why did he do it?
Being
Was it all
and
for
you know
good?
what, Jesse, that's you being a completely unbiased journalist, like kind of thing, like But I don't know if I get what you're saying, but I don't really want to. I wouldn't care to
So
hear him speak, like.
I mean,
I
we'll
mean, I
get on
think you
with it.
should have a bias, though, right?
We'll get on with the show, but like, so
Yeah,
Leland, if you see interview with Wayne Jenkins behind bars on 2020, are you going to watch that episode? Or are you going to be like, I'm not interested
Mm,
in seeing what he has to say?
the one interview that I could have watched about him behind bars, I never finished it. If that
I
helps,
think
I
I think
started it, but
you know.
I ain't really. I was like, I don't really want to. Same thing, my same thoughts. I don't really want to hear him speak.
I think
Like
the
kind
thing,
of thing.
Jesse, there's more important things than views. You know what I mean? There's like integrity and shit. You know.
Well, yeah, but
It's
but
certain people,
integrity
Jesse.
on
To answer your
like
question,
I don't
Jesse.
think it's I don't think like podcasts that bring on Sammy the Bull aren't
Who?
aren't like holding up to integrity. I
Who's
think we're
Sammy the
just
Bull? I don't know who that is.
He's a mobster. He's a famous
Oh,
the
rapper.
mobster who ratted on John
He was
Gotti
a
that
rat.
killed like 15 people, and he's done a
Yeah.
bunch of podcasts. And I don't think like the people that bring him on are really not integrity people. I think you get
No,
a
I
point of
I
view
get what
of a
you're saying. I
storyline.
get what you're saying, Jesse. I do get what you're saying.
but the point
And
of
I get
bringing
what
him on
Jackie's
shouldn't
saying
be
too.
like, oh, we should just do this for views. By the way, we don't. Why are we talking about this on the podcast right now? First, we should
It's
do a
I just
recap
thought
relevant.
of the
that
episode.
I
It's
just thought it
relevant.
would
No,
be.
it is relevant.
I just found
This
it.
is
I
like a
just found it. I just found it funny
yeah.
how you were so
It
against it.
is
I was
relevant.
like,
But yeah, no, I
Because there's
would.
no point. It's like bringing in like a fucking I don't know, like a criminal, like I just have no interest in talking to a person like that. You know, it's just how I would like. You know, the guy's a piece of shit. Like, what do I? What revelations could he make that would be like, whoa, like I never thought about it like this, Wayne. I guess you were right this whole
Yeah.
time. You know, it's just like,
I mean, I wouldn't expect him to change my point of view, but I would listen to the interview of like, oh, do you
What he
think
was
if you
saying.
were trained by somebody else, would you have come out different?
Yeah.
I would enjoy those answers
all
or
Yeah.
be
right, well,
interested in
I
them.
hear you. I hear both sides, but yeah, I wouldn't. Too much.
yeah.
He did too much to other people for me personally to be like. Cause like I said, I tried to watch an interview with him. The
Even if
one
you can
interview that
interview, it
he's
does.
done
You know,
behind bars, and I didn't finish it. I got to watch them. Like I do want to hear it when I first found out about We Own the City. I'm like, man, I love this story. Let me research it. Let me get some more insight to it. And there's like a 7-part documentary with no video. It's all audio about this whole case. And then the 7th episode is the interviewer interviewing him. And I tried to get into it, and I got like 5 minutes in, and I was like, I don't want to hear this. I don't really want to hear what he has to say. So
yeah, it's like interviewing like a killer. You know what I mean? Like it's like like when I remember watching a video long ago, and for the viewers, we'll get back into the recap in a second. I remember watching this video of like Larry King interviewing Mark David Chapman from long ago, the guy who killed John Lennon. And
mm-hmm.
all he was doing, and at first I was like, why do we listen to this piece of shit? First off, but then the more I watched this interview, the more I realized Mark David Chapman, all he was doing was like trying to justify what he was doing
And
and
why he did it?
trying to change his story to make himself seem like not such a bad guy, right? And so I imagined like I don't want to be a part of somebody's failed attempt at redemption or failed attempt to like bring his perspective. Like I don't want to be part of some guy's oh well, listen to my side of the story. Like 'cause it's feels kind of gross, you know. It's like you know, I don't want to, and also it's like the format of a podcast is friendly in nature, right? Whenever interview we've had, we're always very nice to these people. So it's like, why would we want to have like a friendly conversation with this guy? Just doesn't seem like there's any real point to that, you know. But anyway, we'll talk about that more off the show, you know. Um, but yeah, so let's get back into the recap. So they find out that this number was from what's his face, Shropshire is talking to Gondo, and that sets in motion the series of events that's going to catch Gondo talking to like Shropshire later on the phone and saying all this like illegal shit. And so here we also see Sean Suter. Um, he's trying to find out more information about this person who was shot. So he goes into the neighborhood and he's talking to some dude working on his car. And because he goes to where that victim was shot, and the mayor is giving some like press conference of like, we won't do this anymore, right? Blah 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 blah. And then he walks by him and he sees some dude working on his car and he tries to like find out information. So he goes there, and it's a great little scene too because he's trying to be all like friendly to this guy who has such like a distrust of police, right? He even tries to like be a humanity, like, oh, you have little kids, I have little kids, and
But I
tries
got
to,
5 of them.
yeah, and he tries to like have that extend that bridge, and the guy's just like, nah. And it's you could tell this guy's kind of new at this, and he's just trying to figure things out as he goes along, right? Um, but the first phone call, we found out that Shropshire found the GPS tracker in his phone, and he calls Gondo to find that out. And Gondo tells him that somebody's been tracking him, and Shropshire just says, "Oh, I'm gonna put this on somebody else's car." Like he just, and Gonda says, "I don't know who I'm talking to." Yeah, just like Stringer Bell says, like, "I don't know, no Avon
I don't
Barksdale."
know no Barksdale.
Very like, and then yeah, so like, and they're just amazed that they caught him like that too. It's crazy how blatant their conversation is.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they hang up, that one guy Kilpatrick's like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like they're basically admitting all this shit out for everyone to see, right? Um, but also, Nicole Steele got a call from some cop who is like wants to talk to her, right? And he was assigned this fucking shithole post, like McNulty assigned the docs because this
Yep.
guy complained about his department, right? But like a gang, they shut him out. It's that thin blue line. That's what they mentioned earlier, the thin blue line of silence, right? And as soon as you cross it, um they if you do the right thing, essentially you get punished. That's kind of a recurring theme in the show, is that if you're if you like speak out or like obey the rules, they look at you like, well, we can't trust this guy, he's not one of us, so let's fucking
Yep.
throw him out there to some bullshit post. And that's what happened to this cop. And he says that like our jobs are difficult. He actually, it's a really complex thing. And I don't want it to, like, it's very the relationship between police and society. And he says that it's like it's hard to get someone on stand and have a jury believes you, because
Yep.
all the jury, they all have memories of some asshole cop, and that'll make them not trust what the police have to say. And it's like, that's what the problem is that the society has no trust in the police at all.
Nope.
you know um they have no they have no faith in them to do the right thing. So it's broken. Essentially, the system is broken. How can you police people that don't like you or don't trust you? But it's not the people's fault. It's because the cops haven't done anything to bring back that trust, as they bring up, right? Because she even says, like, he says, like, everyone thinks cops lie, and she's like, well, now they do. And he's like,
He's
yeah,
like, now we do.
now we do lie. And if you are a good cop, it doesn't matter, because you'll become irrelevant soon. um and so now, yeah, we see more of like Jenkins being taught to be a piece of shit. And then I like the scene too when he's going to like a barbecue
Mm-hmm.
right on the water. Very
Yep.
Maryland, very like southern, frat boy esque, right? All these parties on the fucking water with the boats, and listen to like 90s rock and bringing out crabs and John Bernthal, you are right, Jesse. He is a great actor because the way he walks even is so like he just has this big presence everywhere he
Yeah.
goes, and he brings all these crabs to the party, but these guys are like busting his balls. The guy who's his sergeant mustache, and this
He
other
like them
guy,
small, them crabs small as shit, Wayne.
yeah,
He like, no,
this
they're mediums. Shit.
this other dude who comes into play in the next episode who we worked with too. Yeah, they're like these are small ass crabs, and this other guy comes out and he's like, "Oh, I got a lot of more seafood, and I got all this beer and liquor, and
He the man.
and he just completely shows up Wayne and kind of humiliates him.
Yeah, he the man. He the man.
Yeah,
Did you
Wayne
guys
looks.
catch when he said, "Haven't you been sober 5 years?" And he goes, "Yeah, but we want to party tonight." I'm like, "What the
Yeah,
fuck?"
Yeah.
what does that mean? Because
He
Wayne
was
tries to like catch him too. He's like, "Well, what do you do? You know,
You're
why
about
are
to
you trying
break
to
your
embarrass me?"
you're about to break your 5 year sobriety
Right,
for a
for
backyard party.
just some random party too. Yeah. Um. Yeah, and Wayne's just like pissed off. He's like, I bought all these fucking crabs, and like now I have to bring them. You know, now no one's gonna eat them, and it's just I liked it because it shows a little bit about who Wayne is as a
Yeah,
person.
and his
You
wife
know?
too. That little, don't worry, baby, I'll eat them. Like
Right? Yeah.
don't
It's
worry.
you
Like
get a sense of like who this guy is outside the job, and you can
yeah,
see he's not really. Again, like I said earlier, he's not really respected by his cohorts, or he's kind of looked down
not
on,
yet.
and he's feels insecure about his position. You know. Um. And so it's a big contrast to when like he becomes very like powerful and everything.
Yep.
Um, he even though he's such a piece of shit, it's funny because even though he's such a piece of shit, he is kind of funny when he's like arresting people. You know, he's like,
I
"Come on,
saw
guys,
that.
road trip, road trip."
He
Like,
he,
just-
he he looks like he's struggling until
right.
the end of the episode. He kind of comes into his own as okay, yeah, I'm a badass Baltimore cop now. Like,
Right. And he seems like he enjoys it too.
yep,
You know what I mean? He's having fun. He's just like fucking around and he doesn't care. And that's kind of what is similar about like all these corrupt cops is they look like when they're doing their jobs, they look like they're having the time of their lives, just
yep.
like stealing and like hassling
Robin,
people, just doing
shit.
whatever the fuck they want. And like, yeah, they're just running wild. And all the cops that are like not corrupt are all like stressed out and it's real like night and day between these two people. Um but then this other cop talks about this guy, uh, this kid Samuels, who was stopped by these cops, basically just for walking home. We get a
Wasn't doing
flashback.
shit.
Yeah, he's walking home from his job, and he gets like stops in front of him with the lights on, and they all go out and they fucking hassle him and are like,
He
"What are you
fucked him
doing?"
up.
You're like you're walking in daylight. You're walking in a drug zone with a hoodie on, and you're looking from side to side. So he thought you were looking for someone to kill. That's really
No,
what he said. And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
that's a
And then
sickening thing. That's
it,
sickening.
it really is gross. This kid is like a teenager.
Yeah,
I say kid. He really is a kid,
kid.
and they beat the fuck out of him. We don't see them beat the shit out of him, but it's heavily implied here. And this other cop that is telling the story, we see that he's looking on as this
Yeah,
happening. Later on, she goes to visit him, and
big
he
ass
sees the
gash scar.
gash.
Like
Yeah, good job by the makeup team of that
what?
scar. What they gave him right across his forehead. Fucking, and it's like the thing is that again, we talk about like what they're stealing. It comes down to like all this is paid for by the tax dollars for cops to
Mhm.
just beat the shit out of these people. It all comes out of our paychecks, right? Because in our form of taxes or the legal fees that are used to cover these expenses or you know. So they're getting away with just doing all this shit on our dime. But here at the end, we find out more about Detective Kluel, the guy who had his car on the van, and
Mhm.
Ram said that like he was a good guy. He wasn't
Choir boy.
a choir boy, like He said that Allers just brought him in to like make it seem like the entire unit wasn't corrupt.
Mhm.
And then he points on a map to where him, Gondo, and Allers were stealing from
Hitting
people.
people up.
Yeah, and that's where they find out that Allers was just as dirty as
Yep.
these other people. Um, and he's like, yeah, Allers stole money too. He's like, he was struggling to make overtime just because he was a sergeant. They have to do admin duties, so he wanted that overtime money also.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's the way I just, again, the way he talks about it, he's just so flippant about everything.
Yep. He said,
Even
"Yes,
like,
ma'am." He
yeah,
stole money. He's like, "Yes, ma'am."
he even like makes jokes about it. Like the guy's like, we were looking through all your complaints with internal affairs, and he's like, well, that must have taken a while. And
He's an asshole.
yeah,
He's an asshole. He's
he's
funny as
smart
hell.
ass. He doesn't give a shit. And again, it's a lot of flashbacks. Kind of like they're talking a lot of. There's a lot of scenes like that, right? Where it
Mm-hmm.
starts off, they're talking to somebody and they tell the story, and we get to the flashback scene of it happening, right?
Yep. It shows him
So,
taking $11,000 from the civilian.
yeah, where he goes to this guy, he's being pulled over. He immediately is like, "Get out of the car!" Just
For
like
his
there's
fucking
no. What's that?
for his fucking seatbelt.
Right. There's no like reason or probable cause. Just get the fuck out of the seatbelt. Give me your keys, motherfucker. And
What?
then they just take the money and they even make jokes about it as like a seatbelt violation. Well, we can't have that. They know what they're doing. It's crazy too because it's just like, and oh, I took this note down too while they're listening to it. This is like because I watched the subtitles on, and they
Yep.
said like the radio said there's an armed carjacking on the radio, and I'm like, well, this is an armed carjacking. They're literally
Facts.
just you're getting pulled over, and the cops just steal your money and just drive away. It's like it's fucking insane.
Crazy. That is in fucking insane.
It's criminals with a badge. That's essentially all it comes down to, and it could happen to if in the city, it could happen to you. You're just
Yeah.
driving up, oh, pulled over. Oh, how much money you got? All right, fucking, what do you can't do anything about it too. And these cops know it, which is why they're able to do everything the way they do. And he even says like later on to these detectives, that like he lied to a polygraph test. He failed a polygraph test and lied to investigators, and even said like he didn't knew the other cop that called him over. He's like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
lied. Like I fucking. He's like, everyone does it, so that's what I'm gonna do also. Um, he said IAD fucked up so bad too, because
Yep.
the last time they tried to get this guy in a fake sting operation, and they fucked that one up too. So
And he
it's
said they
because
couldn't
of
catch the snapper in a whorehouse too. Yeah.
right. It's a color. It's a combination of like corruption and incompetence by the people investigating them.
Yep.
Um, but then we also see like Allers being shackled and walking by Wayne Jenkins. Oh no, sorry. We see Ram being shackled and walked by Wayne Jenkins, and they're just in their jail cells.
Yep.
And yeah, fucking. Oh yeah. So we also there's the last one of the last scenes too is that Jenkins gets called over because some cop was like fighting some dude, basically for like loitering or public intoxication, and he says, "Well, just say that he was swinging on you too."
Oh yeah, he jumped on him and he hit Buddy with the who had the Jordans on, and
Mhm.
he was like, "What you hit me for?" He said, "I just seen tennis shoes. I took a swing." Shit.
Right, and then one of the last scenes is like they go to um, he's
The bar,
basically training. Jenkins is training this other
the
guy
new kid. Yeah.
Yang, right, and he tells him like, "Here's how to do things the wrong way." He gives the exact same speech that was given to him earlier on in the episode,
Yeah.
showing
He's
that
like,
now
"This
he's
Baltimore."
corrupt, and now he's going to train this guy to be a fucking corrupt cop, and on it goes. That's how bad habits get started, right?
Yeah.
By telling people. Um, and yeah, the last scene essentially is we see Herschel for the first time in this episode in a Herschel is such a great character because he just comes off so much like what he is. The
Yep.
performance, he just feels so real of just like this asshole cop.
Yeah, I'm not hiding
Yeah.
shit about nothing. No.
It has this like very like jock kind of personality, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
He looked like a fucking pig eating those wings in front of
Yeah.
his meal, okay? He looked ridiculous. He
No,
had
he
this shit
looks
all on his
terrible.
fingers. He licked his fingers and tried to shake her hand. Like he looked like a fucking pig eating
No,
those wings.
yeah, he again, he just I don't know, he just reminds me of like every fucking dickhead like on Long Island, you know?
Yep.
And I just feel like yeah, he feels like such a real character, you know.
He
And
was, I mean, apparently he was a real person. He was worse than
right.
Wayne Jenkins was in a
Yeah.
sense because it came with all the police brutality too.
Yeah,
Like
no.
he,
So
he,
he is.
he
I'm just
passed
saying that
away.
the
Yeah,
performance just feels so real. You know.
he passed away
Um.
recently, right?
yeah,
That's right.
Miss Donna Gibson. She told us. She let me know that was. I had no idea. I've been following all of these cops for years since I found out about this story. Just seeing like when they'll be released, what they'll do next, if they do any interviews, kind of shit. Because some of them weren't. Some of them were only charged like for 5 years, 6 years, versus Wayne Jenkins, who was charged. I think it was 38 or 25.
Mhm.
25 or 38 years. It's one of those. I can't remember the number. It's one of those that's in my head. But so I've been following some of these stories, but some of them got 18 years, some of them got 15 years. I think Gondo G Money, I think he got 12 years. So
Shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Nicole Steele goes in to talk to Herschel at the bar.
Yep.
Right. He's hanging out, and she's like, she introduced herself, and he's like, oh yeah, you're the people that tell the police how to do their job. It's
He's
an
very
and
dismissive.
I like he licks his fingers and immediately goes to shake her hand, like just to. I would have been I would have been like, no, I'm not. I hate germs so much. I'm like, no, thank you. Um, but she's just trying to find out more information about like all about more perspective, right? So she goes to interview him,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically says like the reason that there's so many unsustained complaints is because it comes from criminals who are complained about doing
About
police
doing crime.
about their
But my,
crimes.
my, my thoughts are though, Jack, what was she expecting to get from him? Like what did she think that he was gonna say that would help her? Like,
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that too, because it's just like, why would well, first off, they wouldn't be like it wouldn't be a friendly interaction, right? They know
right.
that you're not on your side. Um, I guess you're saying maybe he would be willing to give up other people or something, but it is like
Maybe.
because her position, she's not like an investigator. She's writing a
Nope.
report to see if there could be like a consent decree.
Nope. I'm just
Uh,
here to gather information about shit.
so she
Like,
has like yeah, she has no real authority over anything, over anybody really. It's just like she's just again, it's almost like she's like a journalist, right? But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know why she would talk to Herschel or especially when he's like trying to some guy who's like trying to hang out at a bar, like they're not like it wouldn't be the time or the place. I guess she wasn't trying to catch him on his job, so it's like this is
right.
the time she
I
can
just,
catch
I
him.
guess I don't know what she was anticipating him saying about all the
Right.
complaints about himself that would help her. I don't
He was
know.
very just like, look, all these people are complaining about the way and just like very aggressively explaining like all these people are fucking scumbag criminals. There's no sense of like I'm doing the wrong thing.
Right.
And he means like if you guys, I don't know what else to tell you. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
And
he dismissed her for sure.
yeah, and it's just like there's such like forcefulness to this guy. You're right. He's a fucking like animal the way he
He
acts
is.
for it. And it's a great performance by Josh Charles of this
Yeah,
guy.
he did a phenomenal role for Herschel.
Yeah.
Who was also a piece of shit. He might have been a bigger piece of shit than Wayne Jenkins, actually.
Four
But
Brothers, Josh Charles from Four Brothers, who played a dickhead cop in Four Brothers too.
Right. Oh yeah, that actor's been in a bunch of shit, man.
you
Dead
know
Poet
what, Jesse?
Society. He's a
As many times I've seen We Own This City, I have been thinking, where the fuck do I know Herschel from? Four
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, that is it precisely. Damn. I might watch Four Brothers today. Damn.
He's been in
I
a
love
lot of
that
movies,
movie.
that guy. He's been in like Dead Poet Society or
Yeah, I know he's been in a bunch of stuff, but I knew his face from
Don't Tell Mom
somewhere.
the Babysitter's Dead with Christina Applegate, like a
Good
bunch of
shit,
shit.
man. Well, great job, Jack. Great job on the narration, on your research. We appreciate it. Jesse, who you got for the actors of the episode, boss?
Ed Barber as the field training officer. I just loved his
That's a
performance in it.
character's name. I don't know who the
Oh,
actor is.
what's the actor's name?
Uh,
Is
The
it
well,
guy who
credited?
played Ed
you should
Barber.
find. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got Ed Bar. Fuck, man, I don't know. I should
All
have
right.
this up here. We'll find that out. We'll put it on the.
I actually do know his name because I reached out to him, but
Okay.
the guy, but I'm forgetting it off the top of my head. I gotta check my emails.
He
But
probably
the guy,
played some guy on The Wire at some point. Probably played like cop number 2 or
He
whatever.
looked familiar. I love his
Season
character
3.
though.
Yeah.
Like,
nah, he
I love
actually
how he was.
wasn't. He wasn't in too many things. Hopefully he'll get something big soon.
Yeah. Most of these
But
actors are very like small, like John Bernthal and Josh Charles are probably the most well known. And now, obviously David Corgan Sweat because, Superman and everything. But
And buddy who played G Money, he's been in some stuff too. He was in Ozarks.
yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
was in a few episodes of the original Power. I think like season 2 and season 4. I think.
David Hammond, that's the guy's name who plays Ed Barber. Just
Okay.
found it
David
out
Hammond.
here.
Okay. Good
David
stuff.
Hammond. Yeah.
David Hammond, Jesse.
Okay, David Hammond. He was my favorite part of the episode. I kind of got into that whole scene of the field
Yeah,
training.
Yeah, no, I like this. I like this character a lot. He
Real
was
like Darth Vader, like Sith Lord, like you know what I mean? Like a real like Revenge of the Sith, turning the guy evil kind of thing. It was interesting to see that. Yeah, for sure.
Good. Yeah.
good stuff
Shout
there.
out to at Ziggy's _ duck. We appreciate your retweets when
Always,
you retweet
always,
us. We retweet
always.
them. AKA Kurt, who runs the Wire All Pieces Matter Facebook group, and so don't think we don't appreciate or acknowledge the fact that when you give us a little bit of shine, our
Love,
views
yeah.
go a little up,
Yeah,
and
no, we appreciate you, boss.
Donna Adrian Gibson, of course, executive
Always.
producer of the show.
Always,
And
always.
we're getting close again on the boss of all bosses. I'm getting close to the boss of all bosses interview. That'll be it's going to be like working on it, but I'm working on more and more, So stay tuned for a bunch of more interviews. Teddy Kanaz we just had yesterday, who was a sweetheart. He played
Double
Double
G.
G. And Wiretap Truths. Let Leland and Jack take us out of here.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been a wonderful episode again. I thank my team. I thank Jack for all your research, breaking down all of our episodes. We appreciate you so much. Jesse for all of our interviews, putting together all of our interviews. We have just as a full team cracked 105,000 views on our channel. We've got some interviews that we are releasing that are unreleased, like Jesse just mentioned, and a bunch more coming to you. We just released our first rendition of Wiretapped Truths trivia. So we will be doing another episode, maybe another 2 episodes of Wiretapped Truths trivia. It seemed to get a good response from people. People like the
shout out to
format
Milton, the reigning champion.
Yeah, shout out to the winner, Milton. We appreciate you, boss. Also, if you would like to book
Milton,
any voiceover work or any commercial casting, commercial screening, feel free to reach out to us at wiretappedtruths@gmail.com or message us or reach out to us in the Facebook groups. We'd be glad to help you with any voiceover work. There's 3 of us. 3 different voices, so you can book us as a team or book us separate if you need anything. If you want to be a sponsor to our channel, feel free to reach out as well. We appreciate it. This has been Wiretapped Truths, episode 2 of We Own This City. We appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you all next week.
See ya.